Good evening, everybody, and welcome to football shirt shopping, football shirt hunting on eBay here at Phil's Corner. And welcome already to John Carl, Baz, Andy, Midwell Football. Hello, everybody. Hello. Good to see many regulars here already. And yeah. I don't want to spend too much time before we get to eBay. We know what we're doing here. We're looking for bargains. We're hunting for good deals on eBay. And eBay's a funny platform. There's lots of good and bad. But we've had some good stuff. We've had some good hits over the months. So let's see how we're doing. And also, guys, there's some... I think by next week I should be in the new studio. Now, it won't be fully kitted out with all the backdrop and stuff. But we've been painting. We've got some colours on the wall. Or colour on the walls, I should say. Had someone come to measure to fit a carpet today, so all that's happening, which is good. So we're close. We are very close to a full return to Phil's Corner, which will be good. It'll be more videos, as well as better quality videos, and a bit more of a tidier backdrop. But yeah, that's exciting. And also, guys, of course, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And there's details in the description about Patreon if you want to support me further. Before I get there, Baz says, today I missed out on a bit of a grey or Columbia 94 away jersey. I spoke to Dougie from CFS, and he's never seen one in 16 years. But yeah, gutted. Baz. I mean, that is an amazing shirt. I also haven't seen one of those ever. So that's a huge, huge grail. Was that an auction, mate, or was that something else? But either way, something similar comes through, if not that one. Also, guys, actually, I'm sure many of you've seen. I've had a real bug for designing football shirts recently. This is something I've not really done before, but I just wanted to quickly show you. This is my entry for the Red Star FC anniversary competition, and in many ways I'm not expecting to get that far because there'll be lots of good people entering, but check that out. I'd love to hear from you about that. And of course there was the Fiorentina one as well, which I did. But yeah, it's something I've wanted to do for a long time. I've talked about it before. I'm finally sort of making some efforts there. So who knows, maybe we'll be talking about some kit sub design one day. I don't think it'll be just yet, but anyway. eBay. This is the way I like to use eBay. There's many ways you can shop on eBay. I like doing auctions, a really general term like football shirts, ending soonest. Let's see what it has in store for us tonight. Can we get some bargains? Can we get some really high-end shirts for good prices? Midwell says Doug is great. Would love to have a chat with him. Yeah, he is really sound. I did once have the privilege of chat with him for a good length of time at one of their exhibitions, and he is great. I think CFS, they have a reputation, of course, and their prices are high. But honestly, I think I think they are a sound bunch of guys there. And yeah, they're expensive, but they've kind of earned that position. Now, of course, they're not without fault, but yeah. I have a lot of time for them. Middleman, thank you. Say I love the Fiorentina zone. Thank you very much, my friend. I really like that one. I think obviously, again, there's going to be immense competition, so I'm not expecting anything from it. But I really enjoyed that one, and I think because it was a fourth shirt as well, a bit of extra license to do some fun stuff, I think. So it's really cool. It's really cool. Baz said I wasn't sure if they were available. A few people confirmed it genuine. Yeah, it was an auction, but missed out because I was working and had no phone signal. Mate, that hurts. I feel your pain there for sure. Now, just quickly, guys. 8 minutes to go. A very nice Kaiser Chiefs shirt if it was real. Now there is damage. Notable damage on the sponsor. There is also a pull. So to be honest, I think given the condition, I'd only be interested at a lower price. And even then, I don't know. I think the sponsor one, honestly, obviously you can get that repaired. These details look okay. I mean, again, I think I'll pass because of the damage. But you know, 20 quid seems. I mean, if it was real, and I'd want to look at some more pictures, that would be a good deal. Code Chief shirts very collectible. They're quite timeless, and I think this is actually a very smart Code Chief shirt. The collar, I quite like that collar, and of course, you know, you've got all the trimmings of a Code Chief shirt. You've got a great badge. I actually quite like the Vodacom sponsor, even though the color clashes. Yeah, 6 minutes to go. I mean, it's not any beers, which kind of speak again. I think it's probably the condition more than anything else. What size is it as well? No mention of size, which I think is another reason you'd not bid on it. But anyway, some more comments, guys. Thank you for your engagement, your conversation already. It's always a good thing. Brock saying, have any tips or suggestions with eBay auctions? I bid on the 2011 Seattle Sounders away with 1 minute left. Someone else had bid me with 4 seconds before it closed. It's a tricky one, Brock. Honestly, I've had all sorts of situations, and my view is that obviously you want to wait quite late, as in you don't want to drive the price up too early, but at the same time you shouldn't be leaving it. You know, anything below sort of 20 seconds for me, I think is too much risk. So I do actually like to go in, as I say, 20 seconds for me is quite a rough amount, and also, as much as you can, set a price beforehand so that you don't just end up getting carried away, because it's very easy to get carried away, and before you know it, you've outbid your budget. So, I mean, John Carl says it there. My eBay strategy: snipe and cross my fingers. Yeah, that's basically my strategy too. I mean, you can see it if you go. I can't remember when it was, but when we had the win on the South Korea T90 box shirt, you can check out that auction and how that went down. You can see my whole process right from seeing the shirt for the first time. So doing a bit of research, eventually going for it, and that was one of my best finds of the last couple of years. That's on the channel. I think it was in November. Go back and you'll be able to find it on my video history. Quick one, guys, quick tip. If you see a shirt like this and the manufacturer logo is covered, I mean, it's not fully covered, but that's not a great sign. And you can see, I mean, the way it's pulling in there, both the manufacturer logo and the crest, so that's almost certainly a fake. And obviously the price is very low. I mean, yeah, we could double check, and maybe it's real, but let's look at the description. Yeah, I wouldn't. I'd assume it was fake. Maybe not, but you know, not good vibes from that one. Middleman also saying, Brock, you can set a maximum bid. eBay will actually bid for you. Yeah, so that's another good thing. And to be honest, again, people say, oh, don't bid too early, and that makes sense. But at the same time, yeah, I think there comes a point when you can just stick in your maximum bid, and at least you've got the peace of mind of saying, well, you know, you won't have to kind of, I wish I'd bid, and you know, if it goes below your what you paid for it. So yeah, a very interesting shirt here. Hello Up IK, look at that. Berry, I've never seen that brand. Maybe one for you, Andy. I know you like an obscure shirt. Had a bid at 20 quid. Quite surprising, really. I mean, again, one of the things, and you would notice if you've seen previous streams, I kind of like to keep tabs on what's actually getting bids, because it's interesting, you know, things like, if you want to understand market value and things like that, it's always interesting to see what's actually, not just what's being listed, but what's actually been receiving any bids. So an interesting one there on that shirt. more comments, guys. Thank you so much. It's been a busy. The chat has been busy already. I'm doing a terrible job of keeping up. Baz says, brief update on my USA 94 collection. Just one away. What are you missing? Ireland jersey. Wow, Baz. So that is awesome, man. That is really good. Is that home or away or either? I assume home, but yeah. If we can find one, that'll be good. Ballum says, hello, Barry. So missed a few lives. Nothing to be sorry for, Ballum. You've been missed, but equally, yeah. Glad to see you around. I like that sponsor version. Also, not a bad sponsor. I'm about to eat some food. Enjoy. Hope you have a good meal. Sam Balderstone. Hello, Sam. He says, have you seen any Roma Away 2020 shirts? Haven't had the time to check eBay Depop. Honestly, those ones don't pop up all that often. Yeah, they're not the most easy to find. I mean, you know, obviously you could if you just Google it, you know, you get some of the eBay listings, but I assume a lot of these are going to be fake. And certainly this shirt, I don't think will be in stock at any of the major retailers anymore. I might be wrong. You're probably best trying to get a Liverpool shirt and badge it up. But no, in all seriousness, yeah, I think for that kind of shirt, I'd probably be looking to fellow collectors potentially. That'll be my route. I think, you know, sticking out a message on Twitter, but you probably would be paying more than RRP for that. But yeah, if we see one, Sam, I'll certainly give you a shout. Bass says Ireland. Yeah, he's looking for Ireland. I've seen them anybody want to pay a reasonable price. Yep, very good. Ballon saying the difference between fake and real shirts is getting harder these days. Would you say? Yeah, I think it is a bit harder. I think the quality of fake shirts can be really high, and I've been fooled. I am often fooled by fake shirts. So I think product codes are key, and they usually are the silver bullet. You know, 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, the product code can confirm either way. But sometimes you don't have the luxury of that, or older shirts don't always have product codes, so it is tricky. Just quickly, I saw this brand shirt. This is a very simple shirt, but I've got an SK brand shirt in my collection, the blackout shirt from last year. And I don't know, do you guys ever get this? When once you've got at least one shirt from a team, you kind of think, oh, you start to look more favourably or more, you know, you look at some of these other shirts and think, oh, okay, it'd be nice to add a second one. And this one just intrigued me, the asymmetric look. You've got the white section there. It's a very simple look, but I quite like it. I think probably what would stop me is the fact it's coming from Bulgaria, so it's quite hefty postage. I think with UK postage or free delivery, even better, I probably would have bid for that. As is, it's still quite interesting. It is a very simple design, but I quite like that long sleeve as well. And XL's a bit big, but yeah. So that's SK brand. As I say, having got one SK brand shirt, I kind of fancy a second one. I don't know if anyone else gets that. And he's saying, yeah, I do love a template. I've got 3 of them this week. Mate, you are the template connoisseur, the template king. There's one of those goalkeeper shirts which we saw the kids' size of last week. Terrible crop on that photo or cut on that photo, but you can see there. I do really like it. And this, talking of templates, this is a classic. Now, I assume, I don't know if this is real or not, but this template is an iconic one for sure. A very odd looking template, but it's one of the most iconic for me from the 90s. I do like it. And Balancing is Roman Club should not have them anymore. Unlikely for last year. Let's have a quick look. But yeah, usually, especially for Nicholas, thank you for subscribing. Nicholas McGovern, hello, welcome to the channel. Welcome to his corner. Yeah, no. So sorry, that's. I should probably turn that off. Um, most club stores, especially if it's a popular shirt, will sell out by by the start of the next season. For less popular shirts or smaller clubs, you will often see stuff much later in the year. But it scales up or down. And obviously with Roma, their shirts were so popular, and being at the end of Nike as well. You see, yeah. In short, very hard to find their away shirt from last year. Big Jim says, been a follower for a while, Phil, and managed with your advice to ban last year's Finland home for 5 plus places. Jim, firstly, thank you for just watching the videos over the years. I really appreciate your support, mate. And that is a deal. That is a deal and a half. Finland home. Now, am I right in saying that's the one they wore at the Euros? For £5, that's awesome. That's the kind of stuff you can get on eBay. That's really good. So, congrats. John Carl says, my focus right now is on MLS, only DC and Columbus left, and I'll have one from each club. Next time for the inaugural shirts from the league. That's a great goal. I love that. So one from each club. Is that including the newest clubs, John Carl? Who's the newest club in? Is it not Nashville? Who's the other one? Charlotte? Is that you got those as well? But inaugural shirts, that's going to be tough. I know. There's a few people who collect 90s MLS. It's such a good era to go for, but pretty tricky to find some of the kits. But yeah, that's very cool though. Very cool. This Valencia shirt, pretty sure this was on the classic football shirts clearance section recently. I have fondness for Valencia. They're kind of my Spanish team, or certainly I have a fondness for them. This template, a few teams had it, of course. I kind of like this one. I would pick this if this was in my size and a bit cheaper. I'd go for it. As is, it's not terrible. Yeah, those are the kind of things I'd like to pick up for cheap if they ever surface. Some more first-time commenters, guys. It's great to have you along, and a shout out to Ricky. He says, "Hi Phil, first time coming here. Recently received a Dundee 91-92 at home shirt. Wow." So Dundee, the D 19. I assume that's I assume you're referring to. Sorry, Dundee. Is that FC 1991? I assume you mean this one, Vicky. But let me know if not. If it is this one, great to get a match winner shirt there. That's a brand who exemplify, who epitomise the 90s. Apologies if I got that wrong there. Yeah. Sam says, what do you think about lots of people in the community getting out and getting into shirt photography? I just love staring while taking a photo of a shirt and mix of nature. Yeah, I agree. And it's been a bit of a rush recently with spring. A number of people taking photos with Blossom. And Saheen also says, I actually love seeing the community come up with a variety of shirt photography. Likewise, Saheen, likewise. I think for me, it's one of my favourite things is when you see people, when they're just in love with the shirt and they're taking photos of it. And I often think it's like, they're just showing off and they're having a good time. And honestly, more of that. Whether you're taking a hastily, you throw your shirt on the floor and take a picture, or if you're going out to a park and take a picture, whatever it is, it's all good. But I do enjoy the creative ones, and there has been seemingly a real boost in the number of just creative designs recently. And yeah, Jim said it's the white one with the black and blue cross. That's such a good kit. Honestly, Jim, I'm very jealous. I'd quite like to get that one for the collection. See that one in person. I think it's probably my top 3 maybe top 5 kits of the year is for me, off the top of my head. John Carl saying got shot last week. Nice. Tried to focus home shirts as they're more indicative of who the team is. Yep, that's good. Joe, good evening, my friend. I'm doing good. I hope you're well too. Just been hovering over this aahed Sheffield United shirt. Very kind of peak eBay here, mid-90s English club. Bubble's consistent with age, but you see here like 48 quid. Honestly, that seems like a good price. I don't know how rare or kind of what the going rate is for one of these. That seems like a good deal to me. What size is it? Men's large. It's a good size. Yeah, if you were considering buying this, of course, do your research. Things like just searching on eBay for the shirt. It sounds obvious, we can do that now, actually. And just basically the way I explain it is just try and find the shirt somewhere else for cheaper. It sounds silly, but that's So Sheffield United, if we maybe broaden it out a bit, you can see there's a load of programs. That's a great design, isn't it? But very few, if any, of that shirt on eBay. Of course, you could then look to other places, other sites. But yeah, so it's certainly not an easy to find shirt, to find a vintage one. So you can understand why it's already getting bids there. Zane says having a good time, that's the important part. Yeah, and that's one of the great things about, that's one of the reasons I love football shirt Twitter. And yeah, Twitter can be an odd place, but it's seeing people's kind of individual character come through and people's niche collections, or maybe they just collect what everyone else collects, but they just do it in a way which just exudes passion and excitement, and I love it. Every day there's something to enjoy. A football shirt to discover for the first time, that's one of the things I love. This is very niche. Another thing coming from Bulgaria, but a Hummel Dutch referee shirt. Honestly, this is so weird. I'd be tempted to buy it. Oh, it's got the chevrons. I think it's probably a bit too niche, but it looks looks genuine. I do like it, honestly. And it's Hummel. Well, I don't need to sell you on Hummel. Actually, doing Hummel, guys, my latest episode with Behind the Chevrons is live. Check that out on Hummel's YouTube channel. Chatting with #United. I had a really good time chatting with Seb from #. He was really sound. And yeah, more to come. And they've got the black as well. Home and away, referees tops. I mean, honestly, that's great. Again, postage is a bit of a killer. I suppose they could combine it. And there's not really a market for referees tops if I was to sell it on. But, I mean, I think that's great. I'm just looking at the pattern. It's fun to look at these jacquard patterns or subliminal patterns that you often get. Oh, I actually love that. I mean, this one has a different crest as well. I don't know what's going on there. Brilliant. Hummel referee tops. Very, very niche, but this is the kind of stuff which you couldn't find anywhere else. I love it. Middleman's Celtic kits here in the States for eBay are all very expensive. Is that so? I wonder why. John Carlson, the prices here in the US tend to be high in general. Bargain prices are generally fakes. I've been fooled too often. Yeah, I must say, it's getting harder and harder in the UK, and generally it is a lot better. So I can only imagine how much harder it is in other places. Yeah. You do have to have your resume, and people will get a call out for sure. Now this is, I believe, a retro remake. But I'll tell you what, guys, if I see a Denmark shirt, I'll be kind of fancy. I picked up a Denmark shirt from Vinted. Specifically the German Vinted site, because I was buying something from Germany. So I figured I've got a guy in Germany who receives some shirts from me sometimes. So I bought a Denmark shirt, which I'll be showing off soon. And I've kind of got the itch for some more Danish kits. They're kind of one of my adopted nations, so to speak. But yeah, if you see any of those on our channels, I'll be very happy. Max says, I recently got a PSV European away shirt from 2015 from a mystery box, but I can't find the value of it anywhere. So if you can't find, I mean, the general thing I would always do is, if you can't find the shirt, look for similar shirts from a club that's a similar size, maybe from the same country. So can you find an Ajax shirt from 2015 or another kind of decent European club shirt from 2015? Because things like era or the brand or the country help inform that. Of course, the hardest thing really to gauge is the rarity of it. If a shirt is so rare that there's no other ones available, then of course you want to start looking for. The price is going to be much higher, because if you simply can't find it anywhere, you've got a lot more potential for a higher price. But sometimes it's just trial and error, just trying to find the shirt again. But if you can't, Max, it's a good sign. At the end of the day, if you can't find the shirt anywhere, that's a good sign. Probably looking at Twitter as well will help give you a good indication, again, of value. But just I would say, this infamous shirt, which of course, well, I assume it will be fake based on the price, but it's quite a good fake. It's so good that honestly, I'd want to do a bit of due diligence on that one. But yeah, because this is the kind of shit which pops up quite a lot. In fact, the seller has actually listed it as a remake. At least they've done that. That's better than nothing. And there's another one here. Oh, sorry. Only half an hour in and I'm already yawning. Oh dear. Andy. Hello. And Abertino. Good to see you guys. Abertino says, finally I see you live. Yep. This is what we do on a Tuesday evening. Yeah. So good to have you guys. Good to see some familiar faces and some names that I don't recognise as much. Welcome everybody. This is our eBay stream. We've also got a Thursday stream where we rank the latest releases, and very soon I'll be kicking off or bringing back, I should say, some more longer form videos, the kind of classic Phil's Corner videos, which I started the channel with, looking at things like history of clubs and stuff like that. And we'll be doing unboxings. I've got a vintage shirt actually, or a shirt from about 10 years ago in a box, which I want to unbox on the channel. There's loads of stuff coming up. Now, Boca Juniors. I have not stopped my Boca Juniors hunt, my kind of long-term goal of collecting as many Boca Juniors shirts as I can for reasonable prices. I don't have this particular one, so let's have a look at the product code. This is something, again, which I always like to do. So literally Google all the numbers that I see on the label and see what comes up. And lo and behold, we've got the Boca Juniors shirt. Now, this is a nice one. I like this one. I like the sleeves there. The sponsor isn't great, the LG sponsor, but I do like this. And to be fair, that price doesn't seem too bad. However, I think I might stick in a bid. Let's do some research, guys. So I'm going to try and find this shirt. I'm going to see what the price is on other sites. And this is definitely, I think, even at that price, I'd probably want to stick in a bid. It is a medium as well, which is a good size. But let's see if we can find it anywhere cheaper. And I like it. I do really like this. I really like this. I mean, it's Boca Juniors, guys. What more can I say? But what I like about this is the condition looks really good. The jock tag, I mean, it's a bit frayed, which often is just the design of it. But yeah, before I dive into some research. So John Carr says US vintage is useless, and I'm more like on US Depop. Yeah, to be honest, I've not had that much success from UK vintage either. But for whatever reason, the German one has some good stuff. I just realised this is our friend Jack, who was selling some great template shirts. Sorry, I got distracted again because I saw some more listings. Another Boca Juniors shirt. This is another one I don't have, to be honest, guys. So I might be looking at this one as well. And we've got now. I want to see, is this actually? I mean, okay, it's pretty battered. I was going to say this is a classic kit, but there's so many fakes circling about that I'm kind of always wary when I see it. But here we go, 2 Boca Juniors shirts to research. This one I'm actually, I mean, it's a bit newer. I'm less keen that. Honestly, I'd probably only go for this one at a lower price than that. But yeah, good old Jack. So we've seen some stuff from him before. I'm just having a quick browse. I love this PSV shirt. That's on my list actually in a bigger size. I've got the away. I would like to have the home. Yeah, it's got some good stuff. The prices, a lot of them seem kind of around market value. I do really like that Holland shirt. The price is a little bit high, but not unreasonable. There's some good stuff on here, honestly. The guy clearly knows his shirts, and the prices are reasonable. You know, they're around the market value. Right, chat. I apologise. I've been very slow. I've been very distracted. Minimaz Depot was also helping me find some decent pickups, especially old Liga MX kits. Nice. That is very good. That is very good. Can't go wrong with that. Badson, I see a lot of people buy Ipswich 88 templates and add badges and sponsors. Yep, it is a classic thing. And sadly, people get caught out by it very easily. Nicholas says, I'm in the US as well, been to Depot, no luck, was able to grab an Ebsjerg shirt on ground shipped from Poland. Now, I'm trying to think of what I can't even pronounce their name. Ebsjerg. I do recognise that crest though. What year was it, Nicholas? That is a great. To be honest, that crest is just what was the club called? FB. So that's such a funny. I love the text on that. What a great crest. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, that's great though. Grail, that's a site I've not really checked out before actually, so that's what I'll have to look at. Jim says an EA Sports eBay jersey at the moment, so hit me up. Yeah, the EA Sports ones, they're quite fun. Not for me, but that's all good. And John Carr saying, try Grail, didn't like it, make it another try, but not hopeful. Yeah, there's a lot of sites out there, and you know, sometimes I think it can, you know, I've had like good and bad experiences on many of them. Similar to Depop, I find quite frustrating, but there are some good deals on there, and it's the same with eBay, of course. Right, so we're looking at classic football shirts first. We're trying to get some prices or ideas. So this is the 2011 Boca Juniors. I'll just have a quick look at old football shirts, which is a site I like to use. This is a community-driven site, and it's always good as a reference point. I'd love to get that. I've never seen one for sale, though. I assume it was limited edition. Right, so yeah, we are looking at 2011. That is correct. I really think this is a good price. And honestly, I'd be amazed if we can find it for 30 quid. Obviously, there's still an hour to go, but I'm excited about this one. I enjoy this research phase. If nothing else, you can learn a few things. Now, firstly, I just want to say how much I like these Boca Juniors training tops. It's way too expensive. Oh, it's such a shame, though. I mean, even with a 20% code, oof, it's a lot of money. But I really like them. Shame about the sponsor on this one. Yeah, maybe I'll still get one, to be honest. Really like. I don't see anything Boca Juniors, and I'm falling head over heels for it. Again, so what we're trying to see here, guys, is trying to find this 2011 shirt and seeing what price it is available at. You can see here on classic football shirts, prices are always much higher at classic. You've got to take that into account. But you can see similar shirts, or I mean, this is a few years later, but what appears to be the player issue version of the Boca Juniors 2014 shirt for £70. So honestly, that doesn't seem like a terrible price for classic. That's relatively cheap, I'd say. You can see there, so that's okay. That's 70 quid. There's a 2009, but it's quite damaged, and that's 50 quid. Again, that sponsor is very badly damaged. So, I mean, if that's 50 quid, like my guess would be if this was to go in classic, they'd probably have it on for about 60 to 70 pounds. So that's just a guess. But I think that would seem about what classic would do, I would say. Let's look at some other big sites like Cult Kits and Vintage Football Shirts to see what they're selling Boca Juniors shirts at, to try and get some sort of idea. And again, as I'm doing that, oh yeah, there we go. We'll go to here. Ballum said, "Do you think classic football can sell fakes and ones that aren't good? Like you can see the glued on a badge like Puma, I heard stuff like that." Yeah, so on classic football shirts, I know certainly they do print a lot of shirts. I buy a shirt, print it there, and then sell it at a premium. I think that unfortunately is common practice. I mean, if it's done in a way where it's the same technique as it would have been done at the time, it's not too bad, but you'd still rather it not happen. Pardon me. Yeah. But gluing on badges, that's even worse, I think. Yeah, that's not a good thing. And the Esbjerg, I still can't say that word. Esbjerg? It isn't the one they wore throughout the season, to my knowledge. It's good. And was won once. They clinched promotion to the Danish Super League. Nice stuff, Nicholas. That's a great shirt. On here, guys, Cult Kits. Now, the prices for some of these shirts are really, really high, especially the ones that are rare. You know, I've never seen some of these Boca Juniors shirts available anywhere else. I would love to own most of these. The prices, again, are incredibly large because, you know, this is, I've never seen this one for sale. £300 is incredible. Incredibly large. This is a grail of mine as well. The double layer, it's a bit battered. Again, £300 is way too much. But Cult Kits do have some bargains as well. They're not just the expensive stuff. But yeah, we're trying to find the 2011 kit. Trying to get some prices, trying to gauge the value of what we've seen here on eBay. And it looks like there's not much there at all, apart from the other stuff that we just saw. So again, we're not finding the shirt easily. I mean, Boca Juniors shirts do tend to be, I mean, there's nothing on vintage football shirts, surprisingly. So let's just do a straight search on eBay to see what we can find. Again, we're just trying to find the shirt and see what kind of price we could find it for. Bad saying Grail has been good for me so far. Only bought 2 jerseys, both from Ukraine, so it can take sometimes arrive. We've got Bolivia 94 for something like £50-60, including postage. That is a good deal. So many of you are pros when it comes to finding deals, so you could certainly do my job. Now, guys, we can see 42 listings for Boca Juniors 2011, so that's good. Let's have a look now. We want to see as much as possible what people are selling these for. So let's see, for £60 here, £50, £30 for the away, 42, 50. Yeah, so actually not that many. Okay, there's a youth size. Yeah. So there's a selection of shirts. but not many. And the price, honestly, I think for 35 quid, that's a good deal. I'd certainly take it for a bit less. This isn't always, I wouldn't always recommend this. I do do this sometimes. Is actually lowball, which I know some people are quite against, but I like to kind of chuck in a bid which is lower. So we're going to offer 30 quid and see what they say. And of course, especially if it's lower than the auction price, they won't necessarily accept, and that's completely fair. But I like to think, there's no bids allowed to go. They might buy at 30 quid. Of course, if they reject it, I'd probably still bid at that price. Now, the funny thing is, when I do this on eBay, everyone can see this. You guys are more than welcome to jump in and outbid me. But I think it's kind of fun to kind of talk about that process. And as I say, if you jump in, all power to you. Balance is that coffee or tea? It is a cup of tea, Yorkshire tea, the best tea. I don't mind a coffee, but I am a tea drinker for sure. John Carson, CFS is generally safe, but even they have one slip past them every now and then. Even the experts can't catch them all. Very true. Very, very true. So again, not expecting an reply there, but this is definitely something I'm very interested in. I'm just going to do a straight Google search now. Again, to try and capture, you never know. Here we go. So this is interesting. You can see here, and of course, now this is funny with I don't know if you guys know this, but classic football shirts. If you search a shirt and it has been previously listed at Classic, you can often see the price, thanks to the way Google indexes the pages. So you can see Classic had it for 30 quid. Now, what you don't usually get a view on is when that listing was, and that could be 5 years ago when Classic's prices were a lot better. That does make me think, okay, so actually maybe of course, again, this could be a while ago, and in fact what's funny here is you can now see another listing which is out of stock at 90 quid. So there's a lot to digest here. You can see that, again, based on this information, and you don't see the pictures. I mean, you could sometimes, if you go on images again, it would have indexed the images, and you can usually tell if it's Classic. You can even just search Classic and see if there's anything on Classic football shirts. Doesn't appear to be. But yeah, so basically, the long and short is that Classic had one at, but then this was in good condition, so they sold one at 30 quid, they sold one at 90 quid. So I think somewhere in the middle is probably where you're looking at. So again, it's just a bit of a little tip. Something I often forget to do actually, but search for the shirt name, and you can, again, even if it's not current, because that's the thing, if it's not currently in stock, you've not got that info, but you can see it sometimes on Google. And again, knowing that is sold at 90 quid, of course, Classic are quite expensive, but I really do think if I can snag this for anything around 40 or less, I'll be happy. And he sent in at £30 1p. Indeed, I like that. And Jack, I say £30 isn't insulting the worst I can say. No, exactly. I think anytime they've got offers, a best offer button available, I usually take that as a sign to say, okay, let's chuck in an offer. If they say no, it's no problem. I completely understand that. We continue, and we find a Jeff United shirt. Now, Jeff United have some great shirts. Honestly, though, this one is a little bit underwhelming. Yes, it's an anniversary shirt, but I feel like Kappa could have done a lot more here. Design is not really for me. I mean, again, it's got some nice details, but I kind of don't really like it just as a shirt. So even though I'm intrigued, it's not a shirt I've seen a lot of. And you can see, Japanese shirts are very hard to find a lot of the time. it's getting easier and easier, but it is still difficult. Oh, sorry. And yeah, this one is quite honestly like if you collect J League shirts or you collect actually they might not even been in the J, they might have been in the second division. Regardless, if you collect Japanese club shirts and this is a pretty good price for it. I would assume. I'd want to have a look. Now it is a Japanese medium, which is like a tight UK small. It's usually two sizes, I would say, for Japanese shirts. So that's not ideal. But you can see here we've got an Albrecht Nagata shirt for again a really good price, and that shirt has a lot of I think it has a lot of appeal. So that's a great price there. Ends in 3 days. Some other good shirts. So this seller has some really nice looking shirts, to be honest, and a lot of them seem to be in reasonable prices. Yeah. Got a Colorado Rapids training shirt of all things. So I like the look of the seller, honestly. Nothing. It's not like he's got a crazy selection, but there's some potential pickups there for sure. And anyway, yeah. So this one, I'm going to watch it to see if it does get a bid. It's not for me, but I think that one has potential. You could also make an offer as well, of course. John Carson, they make count in the middle, and you can still feel that you got a deal. I've used a tactic before. Exactly. That's something. And I don't think you should feel bad about doing that. Of course, if you go in with a really, really low offer, it might come across the wrong way. But yeah, the way I see it, if you came back and said you can have it for 33 quid, I'll be happy. And I will certainly put in a bid if we don't get anything back from our offer. I'd like to keep this on under 40 if I can. But even if not, I won't be too gutted. I've got a Brazil shirt here. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of this particular Brazil shirt, but Kaká on the back is a nice name to have, name and number. It's a small as well. I think there's a couple of things against it, namely that it's small. And it's not one of my favourite Brazil shirts, but even for a small, with the name set, I'd say that was about fair. I wouldn't say it was a bargain, but it's not a bad price. I will watch that as well. Again, see if it gets any offers later down the line. Just quickly on the 2018 as well. I think this is probably still a good price, but I'm less keen on this simply because it's a lot newer. And I've seen a few of these knocking about, so I probably won't bid on this one. Although if I win the auction, or the guy accepts the offer, I might try and chuck in another kind of £25 to £30 offer and see what he says. Right, we continue. So some potential here in the form of the Boca Juniors shirts. Yeah, very intrigued to see how that goes down. What else do we have? What else does eBay have for us? Got a selection of fakes. You can tell these are fake just because of the price, which is a real shame because there's some good designs, but yeah, we can skip past those. Hibernium. Again, I'm looking at this more just to kind of get a look at the shirt. Mitre, they're a brand which are fantastic. That Hibernian crest, I mean, of course it's nostalgic, I'm sure, for the fans, but it is a clunky old crest, isn't it? But hey, that's part of the appeal of these shirts. And you can see here, it's an extra small, but it's already getting a bid at £50. So a bit like the Sheffield United shirt, really. These kind of 90s kits, which, at the end of the day, if you're a collector of a certain club or a certain era, this might fill in a gap. Maybe you are collecting Hibernian shirts and you don't have a 96 shirt. At 50 quid, it's probably cheaper than you find it elsewhere, even though it's not in the kind of premium sizes. Carlsberg as well as sponsors, probably the most notable thing as well. Yeah, so this kind of stuff, again, if you're looking, this is where eBay can really shine. That goes on classic. It's gonna be more, isn't it? How's the City game going as well, by the way? I've not checked the score, but I'd be interested to see. Now, unfortunately, this is almost certainly fake. I say that because that crest looks off and the rest of the shirt looks a bit dodgy. However, of course, the Napoli shirts are very well. For me, this is probably the best one of the bunch. Again, I'm pretty sure it's fake though. So let's have a look. Incredibly rare, limited edition, made for my elite fit. Therefore, it's an XL. So I don't know. Maybe that is real. I was going to say it was fake because of the crest. I'm now looking at it again, but the price as well. I'm gonna message this seller. I want to find out more because the print honestly looks pretty good. But I'm just assuming it's fake. But I'm gonna ask the guy where he bought it from and if he has any pictures of internal labels and the other side of the labels. If this was real, this would be an easy purchase. I mean, the thing is, if this was real, obviously the retail on these Armani kits is incredibly high. I just assume this one's fake, but it's not immediately obvious to me that it's a fake. I just assume it is, but I'm gonna contact him and see. 2-1 City. Okay, yeah. I need to stop. The problem with these shooting students is I miss out on the Champions League football. I'm gonna have to stick that on as soon as the stream ends. I'm not sure who I'd rather. I mean, well, Liverpool got a tough game against Villarreal, tough 2 games against Villarreal, so that is by no means a foregone conclusion. Obviously, we're favourites, but if Liverpool were to get through, and it is a big if, I'm not sure who I'd rather face. I kind of think you'd probably rather face Real to kind of avenge some of the previous defeats, but yeah, as I say, Villarreal is going to be a tough one, so I don't want to get carried away here. Right. So just go back to this. Well, let's just smash this. Hi there. I'm interested in this shirt. I always like saying that. Gets them a bit more keen to send some pictures. Please, could you send pictures of any internal labels and the backs of the labels shown? I'd also like to know where you bought the shirt from originally. Now, you know, in an ideal world, they would come back with, you know, various pictures and say, I bought it from the club shop. Here's the proof. In reality, they probably won't, and I'm assuming it's fake. But I just want to look at this one more time. And again, I'm pretty sure. Just look at the front of that shirt. That looks a bit off to me. The spiderweb design. I mean, in fact, we should compare the pictures, shouldn't we? Of course. Napoli. There's so many fakes of this one that I just, you know, if we look at pictures here, and this is Osimhen himself. Of course, the renders don't help us out too much because they're yeah, the sizing looks off there, doesn't it? I think it's fair to say this is a fake. Yeah, everything from the placement to the sizing. But I can't say for 100% sure it is. If we let's look at some labels, hopefully. Yeah, I think I already know it's a fake, but we'll see. Just realised my phone's about to die. I will have to plug it in. Sam says, is there a reason why so many shirts are sold from Ukraine? Honestly, I don't know why a lot of shirts are sold in Eastern Europe. You see a lot from Ukraine, Bulgaria, Poland. I honestly can't tell you. But there does seem to be a thriving market. Now you can see here, offer declined. That's perfectly fine. And to be expected. Make another offer. It says, I think we'll actually just wait and probably stick in the bid and we'll enter the lottery or the auction that is eBay. But I'm hoping for good things here. As I say, if we can get it for under 40, I'll be happy. If one of you guys outbids me, that'll be okay as well. Just looking at this Dortmund shirt, saying here it's a boxed edition. Now the box itself isn't that exciting, but you know these Dortmund shirts with this era of player issue shirts from Puma was really interesting with the very quite intense inside plastic kind of ribbing, and it was very like, as I say, kind of quite extreme compared to most player issue shirts. But in that sense, they're quite collectible. Price is quite high on this one. It's coming from Hong Kong, so it's not one I'd be looking at there. But there's some other shirts here. I assume from the same seller. Some brilliant. The Oktoberfest shirt there. There's the Juventus sports kit, which Jim mentioned before. Some really good kits here, but the prices are quite high. It's like classic football shirts prices really there. Chunka saying we've seen City too often. Yep, that is true. That is true. And best in Japanese and Asian markets also full of football shirts, but just be careful of fakes. Indeed, I think it's fair to say that you can get bargains from abroad, but you have to apply the same process of research, and it can take time. But it's always worth being a bit cautious sometimes. Now, I really like the look of this Palermo shirt. At £40, seems pretty good. I don't remember Carini at all. I don't, again, it's always good if you got a player who you don't remember, just Google the team name and the player name. Firstly, you want to figure out if the guy actually played for Palermo. Turns out he did, and not only that, he played for quite a number of years for Palermo. So that's good to see. And yeah, again, things I like about this one: it's long sleeve, it's large. Lotto, I think, yeah, this one has real potential. Now, 40 quid again. Well, let's do the process, guys. Let's try and find some pictures, try and find this elsewhere. But I really like the look of this one. Again, the name set, it's a very simple name set there. But yeah, 2005, supposedly. I like the look of it. Luke, how you feel about first and all? Good to have you here, Luke. Good to see you back. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you're well. Fulham are losing, Bournemouth losing, Fulham need to win to be champions, Sussex United winning, Sheffield United losing. Thanks, Ballum, for the update. So guys, looking at this, you can see already, just immediately, some pictures here. Now the name set is ever so slightly different. It looks a bit more Comic Sans there. But I think regardless of whether the name set's been added before or after, there's nothing too bad there. The label looks pretty good. Really, what I want to see now is, can I find this shirt for cheap elsewhere? I think at 40 quid, I'm not kind of immediately wowed by it, but to me it seems that that's below market value. I think especially because it's in long sleeves and a good size with the name set. Yeah, there's some good things there. For sure. Looks like the guy actually captained Palermo for a while, so that's nice to see. But let's have a look. Let's do the same search. Let's look at the big sites. Let's try and look at elsewhere on eBay. Let's see if we can find the shirt. Fredo says, what you like authenticated shirts. My brother has had a very rare one for a long time. He's wanted to get a second opinion. We're never quote you, obviously, but we're just an opinion from someone who knows things about it too. Yeah, honestly, Fredo, send me a DM on Twitter. I'm not the quickest to reply. I do get quite a few DMs asking for that, but yeah, stick it in, and I can, if I've got time, I'll be able to get back to you. But the thing is, I'm not. I don't consider myself to be that much of an authenticator, so to speak. But yeah, do stick something in, mate, and in my DMs, as I say. Now, guys, some more things to check out here. We've got a match worn supposedly shirt. Sorry, a supposedly match worn shirt. Now that, with all the trimmings, is 180, and that's for a match worn shirt. And you can see It's a very small thing, but when I look here at the font, I'm almost certain this shirt is real. But what I'm not as excited to see is the fact that, and it's a very small thing, it could just be kind of variation with the printer they got it printed at. But you can see here, it's a very small thing, but the font doesn't have rounded edges like we saw in the picture. Now that doesn't mean it's a fake necessarily, but it's those kind of things which always kind of make me think, maybe pause the thought. And I really do think the shirt, it does look pretty good. But that's just giving me a reason to kind of do a bit more digging. But see here, if a match issue shirt is 180, then I think it's fair to say that a non-match issue one, you're probably looking at something more in the region of, well, I think probably around 40 quid actually, but maybe a bit more because it is long sleeve and player name. But I don't think that's actually as good a deal as it maybe looked at first. But let's look at some more sites. Let's look at cold kits. Let's look at vintage football shirts. Try and see if we can find this kit elsewhere. Again, there's nothing much. This is just the way I'm doing my research. There's nothing on vintage football shirts. It's come up pretty dry on both occasions. These are just a few sites I like to use. But there's many, of course, you can go to. We don't have anything there. Jajalo, that's a great name. So let's now look at eBay. Again, honestly, I think this one is looking reasonable. It's Palermo 2005. Let's see what eBay, the rest of eBay has for us. I've spelled Palermo on there. So we can see, well, supposedly a match issue. And again, you see what I mean by the font. It's a small thing. This one obviously has the sponsor as well, and the patch. Yeah, it makes you think either the printing is inauthentic, or it was just done at a different place, or whatever it is. But so you see, similar to the classic football shirts listing, 150. Honestly, I don't think 40 quid is actually as good a deal as the Boca shirt, or at least it's around that. But let's look a bit more. I mean, it's certainly not easy to find not match issue, that's for sure. So let's just have a look. Yeah, so it's not actually, you can't see any more football shirt listings for the year. So this one's one to watch. It's ends 7 a.m. tomorrow. So I'm debating whether to go in at 40 quid. I don't think I'd go much higher, but potentially a good deal. At the very least, it's given me a bit of food for thought there, which is, always fun. And even as I'm going through, you're learning, you're picking up stuff as you're researching. That's one of the things I like when you're on these kind of eBay hunts. Look at this for a shirt. Wow. If you like goalkeeper shirts, that is fantastic. I do love how off-centre that Scottish Football Association shield looks within the shield, so to speak. Yeah, but you can see there already 6 bids up to 100 quid. That is a crazy design. One I've not seen before. Nicholas saying, I feel like Palermo shirts have become increasingly difficult to find. Historic shirts has a 2012 one for 120. Yeah, I mean that's interesting, Nicholas. So you can, yeah, and to be fair, I think maybe I am actually being. I think it's just that font. It's put me off that it's not more rounded, and it could be for various reasons. I don't think it's fake, but it is enough to make you think. When you see pictures like that. I mean, let's just look one more time. I kind of want to just find a picture of Carini with a shirt. Let's put Palermo again. bit of a problem there. With his shirt and a square of font. As funny as that sounds, you can see it's all got this slightly more rounded. It's almost like Comic Sans. The 5 looks a bit more squished. I think maybe we are just looking at something that's been printed unofficially, potentially. And these are the sort of things that keep me up at night unnecessarily. See, another one. Yeah, I think it's fair to say it's either unofficial or it's certainly not the standard font. And that is a shame because I think it's those kind of things which put you off. You can see here again. I'm literally being very picky here, but both the width of the 5 and the rounded edges of the name set suggest that it is unofficial printing, or there's something going on there. And the thing is, annoyingly, it's close enough that I'm thinking, oh, maybe it's just a variation. But it's also distinctly different enough to make me pause. So anyway, I might have to before I spend any more time looking at Palermo shirts, I will have to move us on for the last few minutes. And some love for the Scotland shirt. Yeah, that is an incredible one for sure. Portugal shirt. I'm not sure about this one, but it is supposedly the dual layer. I mean, it looks pretty battered. But the dual layer stuff, I'm very interested in for sure. I'd like to own one of the Nike or Adidas early naughty shirts that were player issue. Balancing Palermo still exist. I know Hellas Verona don't exist, and Palermo in Serie B. I believe Palermo still existing down in the divisions. Yeah, as far as I know, but obviously they did have quite a fall from grace. Into Milan. Now this one I think is a sneakily good Inter shirt. Of course, Inter shirts are always quite good. There's nothing necessarily special about this one, but it's just very solid. Now, what size it is? It's a small, which isn't ideal, but 15 quid. Of course, there's 12 hours to go, but at that price, potential pick up there if you're into Inter. Yeah, certainly, at that price, it's quite good. And if you're a size small, could be one for you there. John can say might have used a later name set. Yeah, that's true. I think again the shirt looks pretty good. I think it is potentially just one of those where, for whatever reason, it's just not the name set which they usually used. But it's not enough of a problem, I think, necessarily to put me off. Just notice this Columbia shirt, of course, the M&M Direct Special, which many people enjoyed at the time. And it was about that price, wasn't it? I think, if not cheaper. It was one of the best bargains that really enjoyed that. Which kind of one of the early M&M bargains, which kind of kicked off the craze. Balancing. Portugal and Argentina will cut this year in Qatar. How huge would that be in sport? I mean, I'm trying to think if that. I'm trying to think of other nations that could challenge them. Obviously, England will fancy their chances, but that would be the Messi Ronaldo narrative would be fun. I mean, they're kind of on the decline, or at least Messi's been a little bit, in the shadows, hasn't he? Over in Paris, but in short, that would be a lot of fun. But I'm also saying £50 for a small Inter shirt for any fan is good. It is indeed. It is indeed. Hold the phone. Wow, it's a Scoredraw shirt. I got very excited. And then we see the Scoredraw label. It's a good looking Scoredraw shirt there. It's obviously massive as well, but if this was a genuine one, that'd be a lot of money there. Middleman saying Interkiss aesthetically appeal to me. The same to me, my friend. The same to me. Ballant made a couple. I'm watching your search hunt. Have you brought any on your hub? We are probably going to bid on this Boca Juniors shirt. Again, we're just kind of waiting to see what happens. But this one, I think, if we can get it at this price, we'll be really happy. And the Palermo one is giving us food for thought as well. It's certainly the kind of shirt which I think could be worth a bid. The name set stuff is bothering me. It seems to be not the official name set, but nonetheless, some real potential here. We talked a lot about MLS on this show. We've got what looks to be a Vancouver Whitecap shirt. Now, the name set on this one is fairly battered. And it's a size small, which isn't ideal. But nonetheless, it says it's signed. Now, this is the thing. When a shirt says signed, it doesn't have any sort of authenticity. It does lower the value. If there's no certificate or picture showing the shirt being signed, it's actually not a good thing for value. So when I look at this one, and I think we'll end on this one, it's a shame because it has some potential. Yes, there is some damage. You can see on the E there, quite a bit of damage, it must be said. But these kind of shirts, they're often quite, sneak. I mean, it's full motion. It appears to be potentially a player issue shirt, which is always good. So this one I think is actually sneakily quite collectible. As I say, without that certificate of authenticity or any kind of verification for the signature, which albeit is fairly small on the back, but yeah. So I think I'm going to see if this one gets any bids, and I probably wouldn't go in for it. But if it didn't have the signature and the back was in slightly condition, the name set was in bad condition, this would definitely be worth a bid. And I think even now, it has potential. These sorts of shirts aren't as common as you'd expect. MLS kits from 10 years ago simply weren't as available as they are now. And even now, they're not that available, are they? Oh, sorry. Outside into Miami. And a few clubs like that. So, yeah. Very interesting one. But, guys, I think that will be the last show we look at tonight. I'll just respond to some more comments. And I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of the City game. But thank you for tonight. It's been good to chat. Some great questions, some great comments coming in. Ballant says Vancouver are a good Canadian MLS team. They are indeed. They are indeed. Thank you, Ballant. Thank you for stopping by, and it's been great to chat. Yeah, so see you soon once again. John Carl as well, just previously saying US versus England in the World Cup final. Never going to happen. That would be, that'll be crazy for so many reasons. Of course, it is happening in the group stages. I believe it's Black Friday, isn't it? The group stage game, which is pretty cool. And Ballant saying group stage match, that will be USA final win in England with Captain Harry Kane. It's going to be very interesting. And on Vancouver, John Carl said Vancouver is always in the shadow of Seattle and Portland's perpetual third place Cascadia team. Yeah, on Seattle, I really enjoyed a short ad I saw with Marshawn Lynch, the ex-NFL player. That was absolutely hilarious because they're in the CONCACAF Champions League final against UNAM Pumas. So that's pretty cool for Seattle. But yeah, the ad, if you search Marshawn Lynch or Lynch Seattle, you'll find it on Twitter. It's a great ad. It really made me laugh. But Andy, Middleman, thank you guys. Thank you everyone who stopped by. It's been a good time just hanging out. Thank you to the new subscribers and just the new names as well. We've had some many regulars, but it's good to have some new faces. The channel is going to be growing this year, guys. We're going to be doing loads more content, not just these streams, but the long form stuff's returning. And it's going to be good. It's been, we've kind of been ticking over these last months. But I'm really keen to kind of push the YouTube stuff more. And you've seen maybe a bit of that already with the YouTube short stuff that I'm doing. But yeah, thank you for your company. I will just mention once more, again, with the usual housekeeping, as well as subscribing. You can support me on Patreon. There's some benefits there as well. But as Ballant says, we lead the stream with City 3-2 up at the moment. Good match there indeed. And for everyone, if you watched this alongside the City match or with the City match, thank you. I know obviously that is a big thing, so I appreciate that very much. But guys, I'll see you very soon. I'll chat to you on Twitter or here on YouTube, whichever one it is. But thank you for your company. All the best and have a good week. See you guys.